it can end in a tie. Maybe you would have coached different had you known it would have ended in a tie. What did you really think ended at the end of overtime in a regular season game in the NFL? I mean, that puzzles me. Moving on. New England played Buffalo today, and they went off on them, 41-25. Tom Brady put up big stats. Gronkowski, like I said, he went and got another touchdown, breaking the New England Patriots touchdown record. Brady was 22 of 33 for 315 yards and 4 touchdowns today. Big fantasy points. LeGarrette Blount had another rushing touchdown. Gronkowski had 100 yards receiving on 5 receptions and another touchdown. I think that puts him at 69, which is why he acted so goofy last week and was like, hee. Tyrod Taylor, tough day, 19 of 38 for only 183 yards. Leading rusher for Buffalo was Gillislee, 12 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor also had a rushing touchdown and pitched in another 48 yards for him. And they didn't have a receiver who put up more than 60 yards, with Powell leading that way at 59 yards. And New England, they're just going to keep rolling. Like I said, if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to come in and beat them this season, because they're slowly getting better. They're slowly taking these no-names. I mean, and really they have mostly a lot of no-names, or guys who you might know from somewhere but didn't work out, and they're going to put them in a situation that maybe not next week they're going to play 15 plays, but in 3 weeks they're going to play a crucial role in that game. And they have a way of just putting the right piece in the right place at the right time and getting the right results. And you have to come in and you have to beat them. And they are proving that right now with the way they are playing. Tom Brady is a competitor. That defense rolls the way he plays almost. They roll off of his excitement and what he has going on. And it's pretty impressive what they're doing. You got to give them respect. If you get mad about your team not playing them well, I'm sorry about it. I mean, go in there and beat them. I can't tell you how many times Detroit played the Patriots very, very close in those years that we had Sue. But at the end of the game, the Patriots always found a way to make a couple more plays, and it was so frustrating because we were so close all the time. We were right there, and nope, we would lose again. And yeah, you start to not like those teams because they win so much. But hey, go out and beat them. It's football. All right, Carolina, they get off their 4-game skid as they beat Arizona today 30-20. And like I was talking about, what is going on with Arizona this season? This is a team that I had and a lot of people had as a Super Bowl contender. And right now they're playing like an average team at best, but they have a ton of talent. David Johnson is one of the top fantasy guys. He's got receiving yards and rushing yards in every game. He's putting up touchdowns. The receivers aren't doing much. The offensive line is struggling somewhat. Carson Palmer seems to be struggling a lot there in Arizona this season. And the defense just is not playing the way anybody thought they were going to play when this season started. That's for sure. And Carolina went out today and they put it on them. And after the game, you got to see happy-go-lucky Cam Newton again. You know, he tried to hold back the ego. He just couldn't do it. He's that front-running guy that everybody loves so much. Superman, Cam Newton. So good for him. He got to feel good today. He didn't have to pout when he went to the podium. Everybody in Cleveland, they should just be pouting right now. We talked about the dog pound fiasco. Couldn't spell go dog pound. They had a halftime lead in this game, like 17 points. They ended up losing this game 31-28. They had big plays all over the field today with McCown at quarterback, and ultimately they just couldn't pull it out. Forte had a couple touchdowns, and the Jets win 31-28 in a game that really means nothing for either team because neither team is going to do anything this season. Detroit had Houston today. I had high hopes for Detroit in this game. Most of the games on their schedule the rest of the season could go either way, really, except for the Minnesota games. Those are going to be extremely tough for us to try and get a win out of. But the rest really could go either way. In this game, I had high hopes of it going either way. Brock Lesnar's not Brock Lesnar. I keep calling him Brock Lesnar. Brock Osweiler's not playing that well this season. Houston was down some players today. They had some players go out during the game today. Detroit's defense hasn't been playing good at all, so that was a concern. But Stafford is playing at an MVP level. Offensive line-wise, Detroit today, I liked what I saw. They played pretty well. They had a few breakdowns here and there, but one of their better games this season. We couldn't get open at the receiver position. We didn't really get the tight end involved until later in the game when Ebron made a couple of huge plays to try and give us a chance there. We had some bad coaching decisions, a missed field goal, so just a lot of mistakes. And ultimately, here we do, another close loss to a team we could have beat 20-13. And that's it. We're 4-4. They move on to 5-3. So we go on to play Minnesota next week. One pride. Let's get it done. Round up the soldiers and let's keep playing. Indianapolis and Kansas City. This is a game we talked about on Wednesday. And Indianapolis, we said they had a shot in this game. We expected T.Y. Hilton to have a big day. He ended up getting injured early on and left the game. Alex Smith got injured, came back. He left the game again. And Kansas City ultimately pulls this one out 30-14 as Indianapolis really just couldn't get anything going today at all. And Kansas City moves on to stay right there in the AFC West race as they also only have 2 losses, but they're run down in the win column as they've already had their bye week. So Seattle and New Orleans, like we talked about earlier, Earl Thomas, he gets flagged for giving the referee a hug. And they're playing New Orleans in New Orleans. New Orleans wins this one 25-20 behind basically Drew Brees. New Orleans defense, this is one of their better performances on the season, holding Seattle to only 20 points and really kind of shutting them down every which way they wanted to go and giving their offense a chance to come back and put them ahead and hold on there at the end. Oakland and Tampa Bay. This is a game that looked like it was going to end in a tie, honestly. Even with what Derek Carr was doing offensively with his stats today. But this game, there was something like, 20-something, 14-something seconds left in this game. It was 4th and 4. Oakland had the ball. Oakland goes for it. Receiver catches the ball. 2 Tampa Bay defenders come in on him, completely hit each other, and Oakland's receiver breaks off and scores a touchdown at the end of overtime to give Oakland another lucky break of a win. And those are the type of wins you have to have in a season to not only make the playoffs, but have a chance in the playoffs and a chance at a Super Bowl. And Oakland's defense eventually could, just work itself out. You never know. They're not playing that well, obviously. They gave up a ton of points again today to Tampa Bay. another 24-point game today the defense gave up. Derek Carr, great game today, 513 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Only 3 players, I believe, in NFL history have done that. Roethlisberger and Y.A. Tittle also achieved that feat. Amari Cooper had 173 yards, most of that in the second half, and a touchdown. Crabtree had 108 yards receiving today. So, the Raiders' offense, like we said, they can score with anybody. But the defense is going to have to stop a good offense from scoring for them to really have a chance at some point this season. When they run into a Patriots offense or an Atlanta offense or a Green Bay's offense, and you saw what those 2 offenses did today, their defense is going to have to stop them. And I don't know if that they can do that right now at this point. A lot of football left to be played. We're only at week 8. This is basically the halfway mark. But Oakland Raiders tied at the top of the AFC West with the Denver Broncos. Excuse me. Locally here, Denver, San Diego in an AFC West matchup. This is another close game for the San Diego Chargers. All of 7 of their 8 games now this season have been within 8 points or less at the end of the game. Denver wins this one basically on sheer grit. They had a few glimpses here and there through the passing game today. Defense came up with 3 big turnovers, but the offense still couldn't really get anything going. They couldn't score in the red zone. They couldn't put it in the end zone. They had to settle for field goals a lot of the times. They couldn't get themselves out of their own end zone there at the end of the game, and really gave San Diego more chances than they should have had to be in this game. They just couldn't move it. Booker couldn't really do a lot today. He was kind of stuck there a little bit, fumbled there trying to make an effort on going in for a touchdown, and gave San Diego the ball back. Could have put them up 24-7 at that point in the game and really changed the outlook of the game. Instead, San Diego takes that fumble, turns it into a 13-play drive, 8 minutes, into a touchdown, and makes it a 17-14 game. Big difference in the way that game played out right there. But Denver ultimately holds on behind just pure grit, like I said, behind their defense, and pulls this one out to stay in the hunt in this toughest division right now in the NFL, the AFC West. And they are also 6-2 with the Raiders right now. Thoughts go to Wade Phillips. Hopefully he's okay. If you guys were watching the game, on Bradley Roby's pick 6, a San Diego's Charger player was being blocked and kind of stumbled out of bounds right into Wade Phillips and knocked him to the ground pretty good, and he was taken to the hospital. Reports is looking like he's going to be okay, so maybe he'll be able to make it out to next week's game. We'll have to see exactly how that plays out for Coach Phillips there, but hopefully everything's good and he'll be okay. He did hit the ground pretty hard. And we're on to the last game right now, game of the week here on Fox. We talked about this one with Jeremy. We knew it was going to be a shootout, and it ultimately turned out to be quite the shootout, a 1-point victory for the Falcons over Green Bay, as the Falcons win 33-32, and both quarterbacks in this one just had great games. I mean, they were dialed in. Matt Ryan was 28-35 for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers was right there with him, 28 of 38 for 246 yards and 4 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers also led the Packers in rushing. That's kind of a problem. They're going to need to get their rushing game figured out. T.J. Ward's little brother led the Falcons in rushing with 46 yards because Coleman was out this week. Jordy Nelson, 94 yards and a touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, 84 yards and a touchdown. And, there you go. The Atlanta Falcons 1-point win over the Green Bay Packers. I didn't know this, but maybe Julio Jones didn't even play in this game, because I am not seeing him show up on the box score. So even more impressive there for the Falcons as they win this shootout, not having Julio really do much in this game. I'm going to pull up the full box score for this, because that seems a little... I didn't hear that he was out. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So, he was there, but he got taken out of this game. 3 catches for 29 yards. I didn't think I had heard him not being in this game. Just didn't show up in the top of the box score I was looking at there. So, yeah, the Falcons, amazing win there. Amazing shootout. That's a fun game to watch for a fan, for sure. Both teams with a chance there at the end. Atlanta comes back and ultimately pulls off 33-32, as Green Bay was leading late, and Atlanta was able to come back and get the W. So that's a big win for them. That's the Week 8 in NFL football. You got the Cowboys and Eagles tonight. You got the Vikings and Bears tomorrow night. And until next time, check us out on Facebook, Real Deal Sports Talk with KVP. Check us out on Twitter, Real Deal KVP. Check out our GoFundMe page. We're trying to raise money for some new equipment so we can keep this show rolling, move it in a better direction, get out a better product, have more call-in, chat-in, things like that going on. And some better equipment would definitely help out with that. Love my listeners. Thanks for listening. Until next time, everybody, just be real.